Alrighty guys, welcome back to Miller RC, and I apologize for my lack of content lately. My camera equipment has kind of taken a dump as far as microphone and all that sort of good stuff, so yeah, lack of video has unfortunately been the case, but hopefully now with me getting a new camera and all that sort of good stuff, we can continue to make videos. But in any case, we're going to go ahead and do an update video on this 1/5 scale Waco project. I know probably a lot of you guys have been even questioning if I even brought this thing with me since moving to my new location. And the answer is yes, I have brought it. Unfortunately, it has been hard to find even more time to get work done on it. But as you can see, some things have definitely changed, and it is getting pretty darn close to completion. So getting really excited. But anyway, I figured I ought to, just get an update video and you guys, just to show you guys, A, I have brought this thing with me and I am still working on it, and B, show you where all this thing, or show you where this plane is pretty much at the moment and all that has been done to it. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So pretty much where I left off, which I believe was covering this plane, which was part whatever, I can't remember. I pretty much have gotten started on the ailerons and getting them all covered. As you can see, they've got a nice ribbed effect going on right here. And these are pretty cool when you get them on, but unfortunately they were a pain in the to get on. So it took a lot of time, and painting them also wasn't great, and I had to fill in the cracks, which unfortunately I kind of missed a spot there, but I'm not too worried about it. So but once these covers are on, it does give them a really nice look as far as ribbed aluminum ailerons, so that's pretty cool. And I am happy to report that my hinge method, or my new different hinge method than what the kit says to do, has worked great. If you can't remember, pretty much from the top of this aileron down just has a bevel, just like a full scale Waco. So this upper hinge here is tight. I probably could have got this end a little tighter, but oh well, it's looking pretty good. But as you can see, the movement is no problem whatsoever. So yeah, we are looking really good. As you can see here, I don't know why the servo's on the bottom aileron here. So, but as you can see, the movement is working really good. And yeah, it has quite the amount of deflection, or enough for this type of airplane. You know, we're not doing any 3D thing here. And then the hinge closes there, and then it opens up on the up travel, just like a full scale Waco is hinged. So really happy that that worked out. And then obviously you can see we have the gang struts here, or gang rods is what I like to call them for the ailerons, and the end struts here. They are all painted and looking really good. So yeah, things are getting closer. Things are getting done, and this was another big time consumer. But yes, the end struts, gang struts, ailerons, and all that sort of stuff is completed, and they are good to go. And another big area is this turtle deck finally here got completed. As you can see here, this is just, it was a balsa block that got carved down into kind of a headrest shape. As we can see in the front there, it's pretty much just a piece of wood. And then I had the hardest time debating whether to cover it white or gold, and I think I made the right choice by going gold. It's looks pretty good to me, and yeah, it was a pretty simple add-on. It was just, it took a while to carve, and I had to I don't know if you can tell in the front here, but I had to indent the bottom right there to get it to fit properly on the turtle deck area here. But it is on and looking really good. So yes, this plane now has a proper and distinct Waco YMF5 turtle deck / headrest. And besides the turtle deck, right, or / headrest area there, the tail or empennage is epoxied in place with their respective control surfaces CA or hinged, or yeah, with CA hinges and hinged in place. So that all turned out pretty darn good, and I'm happy about it. The only thing I did do differently pretty much is, one thing I wasn't happy with was the hinge line for the elevator was right in line with this rudder here, which I think yeah, I mean, that would have worked and all that sort of good stuff, but that is not scale for this type of plane in real life, or in the full scale world. This hinge line is forward of the rudder hinge line about this far. So what I ended up doing was modifying the saddle of the fuselage where this horizontal stabilizer sits, and was able to move it forward. And with doing that, or moving the horizontal stabilizer forward, I also made it a little bit lower so I can get this top of the horizontal stabilizer pretty much flush with where this fuselage former ends here. And I think that'll give me a better chance of fairing this all in place whenever that time comes. Hopefully it will look pretty good. But yes, that is pretty much the only modification I've done to the tail area since or from stock. Is, stock, the horizontal stabilizer way back here, but I was able to move that forward and get that in a more scale-like location. Now, if you remember correctly, my elevator has a hidden linkage, so that's how that's controlled. If you can see that little carbon fiber rod down the center there, probably not, probably a little too dark, but there's a control horn on that, and yes, this has a hidden linkage for the elevator. As you can see, there's no control horn on the bottom of the elevator anywhere to be seen, but the rudder here is running a pull-pull setup, which is pretty standard and is scale-like for the Waco. And as you can see here, the tail wheel is also installed, which this is a Dubro, I can't remember, something. I'll put in text what size the tail wheel is. But as you can see, tail wheel, tail, empennage, and control surfaces are all installed and ready to go. And we will go ahead and move on now to doing a control surface swing, because pretty cool stuff there. Okay, so I have my trusty X20 Pro SE here, along with the plane powered on, and we're going to go ahead and cycle through the controls for y'all. First, we'll start with the ailerons, which you can see here are fully operational and move in a nice, like manner, as you can see here. I was a little worried at first, as I'm so used to 3D airplanes, thinking that this was going to be enough travel or throw. But then I got to thinking, this isn't a 3D airplane, and I've got 4 of these ailerons, so yeah, I think this will be enough travel. And yeah, it looks really good. And probably my favorite attribute about these surfaces is, I don't know, when I'm thinking 3D wise, or maybe if there's a quick tree or something that I got to get out of the way of, I have a servo speed on my side. You see here, plenty fast. And then we have the empennage surfaces here. We'll start with the elevator. You see here we got plenty of travel, and the resolution on these servos is just great. And yeah, working really well. And then just like the ailerons, crazy fast. Then we have the rudder on its pull-pull setup, along with the steerable tail wheel that you can see down there that is working just beautifully. And yeah, I think we got good enough travel on this as well. So yeah, rudder, elevator, ailerons, all functional and looking really good. And then last but not least, we do have the throttle. Here, as you can see, working really well. The carb, move the prop over here. Carb barrel is working freely, as you can see here. Open, closed, or idle, and yeah, linkage setup works really good. Beautiful prop once again. But yeah, just thought I'd go ahead and show you guys the control surfaces doing their thing. And yeah, they are all hooked up and flight ready. And here's a pretty big area that has changed pretty much. You see the wheel pants are mounted, the design's painted, and looking really good, as well as the tires being installed. The landing gear fairings are pretty much finished, which originally I was going to try to cover these, but that didn't work out. Covering does not stick to metal wire, so I eventually had to break down, and this is actually fiberglass. You can see I still got some fiberglass strands up there, LOL. But that'll be all have fairings and all that sort of stuff, so I'm not that worried about it. But yes, I had to fiberglass this and get it painted, and it all looks really, really good, so that turned out great. Yeah, but the way they wanted you to mount the wheel pants stock of the kit was like a really bad idea. They just wanted you to use a dumb little metal bracket soldered to the wire that was never going to hold. So I ditched those for the SIG wheel pant brackets, which is a far superior design. And I gotta tell you, those are really nice brackets because they allow you to infinitely adjust your wheel pants to make them angle perfectly. And once you have that angle, you can just tighten a set screw and you are good to go. So really happy with the SIG wheel pant bracket mounts. They have really been a lifesaver. And as you can see, the cowling also has its gold blisters design painted. Mine probably turned out a little fatter than what they're technically supposed to be, but they came out looking pretty darn good. As you can see here, looking really awesome. And that really just, adds to the coolness factor of this plane. So looking really good. Beautiful Falcon prop there, isn't it? Yeah, looks awesome. Along with the Gemini. Whew, good stuff. But anyway, another thing that changed are the tires. The main wheels I had with this plane originally, I had some uh, what were they called? Benchcraft Motion RC 4.5, 4-inch wheels. And while I'm sure those are good wheels, they were just too skinny how and where they fit with these wheel pants. So I opted for these Dubro quarter scale cub wheels, which as you can see fit the wheel pant much nicer. And they just all around give this plane a much better look. I mean, if you got fat wheel pants, you also need fat wheels, right? I'd say so. So yeah, wheel pants, or the wheels are also changed with this plane. Got a much better wheel setup going on, and they are looking really good. But yes, all as you can see here, design just came out really good. And how I did this is I took the decal sheet from this plane and laid it all out on a piece of masking tape, cut the design of the masking tape out, and then just applied to the wheel pant, and then went ahead and painted the design on. And as you can see, it came out looking really, really good. So yeah, really happy with that. And same method was done with the cow. Unfortunately, that took about 6 hours to make sure everything was straight, and there was a few mistakes on it, but it came out good enough, and I think I will go ahead and use it. So as you can see, it looks really, really snazzy. And I know I'm going to get this question is what paint did I use to get, or for this plane to get the gold designs? And I used this Testors spray enamel metallic stuff that is your metallic gold. And it comes out pretty darn close to the gold ultra coat I'm using. I think it's slightly darker than the actual covering, but as you can see, close enough. Looks really good, so I don't think anybody's really going to be able to tell. And yeah, looks really good. Alrighty, so I now have the bottom wing off, and I'm going to show kind of the inside radio compartment here because quite a few stuff has changed. But up here you can see the throttle servo, and you see it is fully operational and working just beautifully. And it is an NKS HV69, which once again is way overkill stuff for this type of thing. But like I said, I had it lying around, so that is what I decided to go ahead and use. Fuel tank is in place, although it is not fully backed or whatever, or I need a backer on the back here to prevent it from sliding out. But it is in place and ready to go, and it is protected, as you can see, with bubble wrap because I didn't have foam rubber. So we're going to try that out. And then down here is pretty much the rudder setup for the pull. You can see that operates just flawlessly here, and it looks really good. And that push rod and clevis is for the tailwheel operation, and it works absolutely awesome. I was afraid I was going to have to use another servo for just for a tailwheel, but as you can see here, I've got plenty of clearance from any of the pull cables, and I think I got plenty of tailwheel movement. As you can see, it moves pretty decently, as you can see along with the rudder there, like once that we showed before. So yeah, as you can see, pretty much everything else is, but besides the rudder and throttle servo and the fuel tank, pretty much everything else is the same. There's the elevator servo there with its linkage, and it is working really good. So yeah, that's pretty much all that is changed inside this radio area here. Excuse the rat's nest of wires. This will all be cleaned up later. But as for now, yeah, that is the current state of the radio bay or radio/area. And while I have the bottom wing off, I might as well go ahead and show my aileron linkage setup. As you can see, it turned out great with using the servo door cover, and I'm using the Dubro push rods with their I forget what they call this spring silencer. I forget what or spring dampener, sorry, and it works really good. This also was changed from the plans. I think originally they wanted it here, but once again, not scale for Waco. It's more around there, so that's where I decided to change it. And these are just Dubro standard clevises, I believe, and it works really good. And I'm using the clear nylon 90-degree push lock keeper thingies. And yeah, this setup is working really good. I haven't had any problems with it, so that is the aileron linkages for both the left and right aileron over there. And as you can see here, I've got the windshield cut out, and well, that's pretty much it. There's going to be a lot more work done to it, but I just used the stock plastic that came with the kit, which does have a few scratches, but I think it'll clean up pretty decently and look good. But the positive is for all the kits I've done in my previous past, this canopy actually does fit the best. The shape that the plans had actually really do fit the shape of this forward section really good. So yeah, like I said, this canopy is not anywhere near close to done, but it is cut out, shaped, and looking really good. So thought I'd document that. And it's got a nice shape to it, so yeah, looks good. And as you can see, the pitot tube or pitot tube, however you want to pronounce it, is pretty much painted and looking really, really fine. I don't know what it is about this thing, but it is just literally my favorite part about this plane. The way it looks and goes in. I mean, every Waco, if you're going to build a Waco like this, you're going to need a pitot tube. Just no questions down. It just completely changes the look of the plane. I mean, got to have it. So, but anyway, like I said earlier, this pitot tube is really nice in the fact that it is removable. So you can see here, whenever doing transport or whenever this thing breaks, or well, that's kind of the idea in the first place, how it's removable. Unfortunately, it's still a little tight, but yeah, make it removable so you can take it out while you're transporting it, so you don't break it and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, really cool how it turned out, and yeah, looks really, really nice. So cool stuff. And I figured I ought to show this thing off in the dark once again. You can see the landing lights looking really good. Nav lights with their respective strobes looking really good too. So yeah, looking really fine. Can't wait to fly this thing in the evenings and have the lights visible. Ought to look really good. You see the green and the white there light up the whole wall, along with the red over there. So super cool. Alrighty guys, so I think that'll do it for the update video on this 1/5 Waco project. Just wanted to update you guys and more or less let you guys know that I did bring this thing with me since moving to a new location, and I am still working on it as much as I can. But like I said, things are just going to take more time. But it is getting very close. In fact, all I would really have to do if I really wanted to fly this thing is just get my exhaust extensions ran for this 160 Gemini out the cow, and then technically I think this thing would be flight ready. But for video montage sakes and other stuff, we'll probably wait till all the scale details applied, which I won't reveal just yet because I think this thing's gonna look pretty stinking cool. Even though it looks cool already, it's gonna look a whole lot more nicer, a lot nicer once the scale details are all applied, and yeah, all that good stuff. So anyway, yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, because I'm sure there's stuff I've done to this thing that I've left out because I forgot about it. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. So really, really cool. Anyway, thank you all for watching Miller RC, and we will catch you all on the next one. Ooh, what's that?